My name is Eui-Cheol Shin, and I'm a professor in the Graduate School of Medical Science and Engineering in KAIST, Korea. The KAIST is a Korea Advanced Institute of Science and Technology. Basically, I'm an immunologist and who is focusing on the human CD8 T cell biology, especially in human viral disease and cancer patients. Human CD8 T cell immunologist, recently I'm concentrating on the bystander T cell activation mechanism. The bystander T cell, I can say that during the viral infection, sure, the infecting virus specific T cell will be activated. But in addition to those specific cell, the non-specifically pre-existing the memory T cell can be activated by cytokine. So we are calling that phenomenon bystander T cell activation. So mainly, I'm working with ProImmune for the MH class 1 multimer. This MH class 1 multimer, the technology, is the very essential for my bystander T cell activation study. Because, so for the bystander T cell activation study, I need to detect some certain virus-specific T cell. It means that during the viral infection, I need to distinguish the virus-infected T cell and non-specific T cell. So with other virus specificity. For such kind of the study, I definitely need MH class 1 multimer. And this MH class 1 multimer, as you know very well, this ProImmune is one of the most outstanding provider for such kind of the technique. So not only just the pre-made, commercially available the product, so sometime I obtained or customized some product depending on the epitope information. So in that way, so I have been working with the ProImmune, and the experience was very happy. The first one, so when I started the bystander T cell activation study around 15 years ago, so in that time, I studied bystander T cell activation in HAV infection. The hepatitis A virus infects the patient. And in my lab, so we found that we discovered some of the T cell epitope from the HAV protein. And then I asked the ProImmune to synthesize this customized MH class on multimer. And in that time, we just communicate very frequently to make a best, of MH class of multimer. Such kind of communication and cooperation was the very important part for my study. And the second one was the SARS-CoV-2, the COVID-19 pandemic. So as a viral immunologist during the COVID-19 pandemic, I studied several the topic, the project regarding the SARS-CoV-2 specific T cell response from the individual who had the infection or vaccination or breakthrough infection. And I remember that 2020, in the early time point of the COVID-19 pandemic, I was looking for this MH class of multimer. And then we were ready to order customized multimer. But meanwhile, I found that very rapidly, ProImmune already synthesized, and then they start to sell the MH class of multimer. So we ordered very rapidly, but like 8 or 10, very diverse type of this multimer, and it worked very successfully. And then it was one of the first paper about the describing the SARS-CoV-2 specific CD8 T cell from the infected patient. So it was the beginning of my journey in the SARS-CoV immunology during the pandemic. It also was owing to the ProImmune. One of the advantages of ProImmune, in my experience, is the communication, the cooperation by communication. So in my case, recently, I cannot remember since several years ago. So, for example, ProImmune in the Asia Pacific region, Edmund, you, such kind of very excellent manager, and I don't know the exact name of position, but the very excellent manager is cooperating me for just the new reagent and new protocol. So this is not just the buying just some product from their catalog. So before the purchasing the reagent, so I can have the communication with the specialist the in-house specialist in ProImmune, which protocol will be the best one for this purpose, and with which kind of the reagent is will be best for such kind of purpose. In that way, before purchasing the reagent, I can have a discussion with the in-house specialist like Edmund. So that's one of the different point from the other company in my experience. I had participated in 2 times. This the ProImmune, the webinar series for the once for the COVID-19, the immunology. The other one is for infectious disease, another webinar series. So the such experience will be great and very fascinating because by this webinar, so I had a very nice the connection with the immunologist worldwide from other part of the world. And then not just sharing our science and our some thought about such kind of immunology, but also the by the chance having this webinar. So even sometime I had a real offline connection. So for example, I the invited the 2 or 3 speaker to South Korea, and then it was initiated by this webinar series, the sponsored by ProImmune. So in that way, so the webinar is not just online the experience connection, but it stimulated our real the offline the connection among the immunologists in the world. So it was a really fascinating experience.